Right, I thought it'd be fun to share with you today 3 totally seasonal, super simple floral creations that you can make in the middle of December using homegrown seasonal ingredients. And let's just get straight into it. So what I'm going to start off with floral creation number 1 is a lovely winter wonderland Christmas posy, and this is just using 6 ingredients, and that's going to be the most ingredients we use for any of these creations. So I've got a lovely vase here. Technically it's an ornament, but as far as I'm concerned, if it can hold water, it can hold flowers, and you could use whatever you have, a jam jar, a mug, you could have any vase, a casserole dish, a soup bowl, whatever you can get your hands on. If it can hold water, it can hold flowers. So obviously we've got a fresh clean water in there. We're starting off with wonderful heather, or whatever you have that's the equivalent. Lovely white vertical spires, and this is going to act as a nesting foliage. So instead of having chicken wire, we're going to have foliage that can hold all our other stems in place. And dead simple, just got some short stems and I'm just plonking them in. Just giving them a zhuzh, all technical here, and that's it. Ingredient number 1. Ingredient number 2 that we're using is lovely viburnum, or again, whatever you can get your whole hands on that you're growing. Lovely lacy shape, dead simple, just again plonking it in, and that's all we're going to be doing with this posy. We've just got little sprigs of different ingredients that have kisses of white in them to come together to make a lovely Christmassy winter posy. So that's ingredient number 2. Ingredient number 3 is wonderful brachyglottis. It's got this dark green side with this wonderful silvery underside, and it's the silvery underside that I want to display. So I'm making sure I'm kind of turning it so the silvery side faces outwards. And this would be wonderful to put in a hallway, on your bedside table, down a dining table. Ingredient number 3 sorted, a bit more there. And now ingredient number 4 is wonderful, if I can count, iberis. This is the perennial version of candy tuft, and it's a fantastic plant because it actually flowers from the middle of December all the way through to the middle of April. It's wonderful, sometimes even longer than that. Now this has wonderful little arches, so I'm going to try and have it dripping over the side, just trailing like a little bit of snow that's just tumbled and rolled down a hill. Very, very pretty. And it just goes to show, I mean, these are really tiny little stems. And when you just look at that, it doesn't look like much, but when you start to bring it together, you can see how this is going to turn into a very lovely, Christmassy, white winter posy. Then next, we're going in with ingredient number 5, which is honesty. Now, if you are cutting honesty, really you want to cut it earlier in the year, in summer, when it's at a bit of a kind of leathery to touch stage, and peel the pods to reveal these wonderful silver moons. But many people leave it in flower in their gardens, and it's fine to pick now too. Just you might notice that a few of these silver discs have holes in from the rain, so you just need to cut off any blemished ones and then use as you would with any of your other ingredients. And this is really great because it adds that kind of snowy effect. I'm going to have a few of these quite proud, a little bit above the arrangement, almost like snow or icing on a Christmas pudding. And it just, again, a little goes a long way. This is totally to prove that seasonal doesn't have to be complicated. And also, there is, even in the middle of December, something to be celebrated. We can have wonderful, wonderful seasonal floral creations at any time of the year. And now we could leave it there, but we're going to go in with one final super simple ingredient that, again, grows wonderfully at this time of year. And this is snowberries. Now, you do find with snowberries that a few of the berries go a little bit brown and mushy. Don't know if you can see that. So just pick them off. If, again, like the honesty, if there's anything blemished or ugly, just cut it off. And then these will last a really long time in the vase. I've made these stems a little longer because I really want them to sit again proud, just to kind of look like a little snowstorm has gone above this wonderful winter posy. But you could experiment with whatever you have growing in your garden. And that is it. Floral creation number 1 took next to no time, a wonderful winter posy. What do you think of that? I hope you do give it a go. And now we're going to move on to floral creation number 2. Now, do not worry, you can always save this video. You can come back to it once you've gathered ingredients of your own or use it as inspiration. But that is floral creation number 1 done. Just going to grab a little sip of water. And on to floral creation number 2. Now I'm speeding through these just to prove that it's totally easy and simple to make something wonderful at Christmas. Now we're starting off with a super simple pre-made wreath base. Normally I only ever go for wreath bases that I've made myself or fully compostable. This actually has wire in it. However, I won this when I went to see the wonderful Dick and Angel Strawbridge at a theatre show, and ended up on stage and did this jack of all trades competition where I had to make a wreath in part of this competition, and this wreath base came with it. So of course I've kept it and will completely reuse it. Now with this wreath base, I'm not even going to attach anything like straw. I'm not going to use any mechanics, so it's going to be quite loose. So you want to make sure once you hang it up, you don't touch it. But it's very easy what we're going to make today. We're just going to use 2 ingredients. So I'm starting off with copper beech. Now when you're making a wreath, typically you want all of your leaves to go in the same direction, just so it gives a nice swooping effect. It's very aesthetically pleasing. But if you want to place them willy-nilly, you do that. But for today, all I'm doing is I'm creating a hole and plonking in some copper beech stems. So again, it's really nice and simple. You can see just separating the sticks and pressing in the copper beech. Now I'll just go in with this all around this edge. If you want it to be more sturdy, just press those stems in further, but it doesn't need to take long to make something seasonal and fabulous that you can enjoy at home. And of course, with this particular base, I will make sure that when I'm finished with it, I will remove all the ingredients and reuse my base, so nothing will go to landfill. Everything is completely reusable, and like I say, normally I would never use a wreath base that isn't fully compostable, but this one's a bit special to me, so I will use it today. So we've gone in, I think, with about maybe 10 stems of, and again, super short stems of copper beech. I can get that last stem in there. And now we're going in with ingredient number 2. I mean, how quick was that? You could just have that by itself. You could fill in this centre if you wanted, but I'm leaving this for a wonderful, glorious berry. Now this is the stinking iris berry. Now just a pre-warning, it's got these amazing vibrant berries that are just such a joy to look at. But 2 things, the entire plant is toxic. Now, of course, most of us don't intend on eating our floral creations, so that shouldn't be a problem. But of course, if you've got kids or pets that you worry would eat it, I would use something else. There's so many wonderful berries out there, but again, most of them are toxic, so just watch out for them. You've got skimmias, you've got cotoneasters or cotoneasters, however you prefer to pronounce it, hollyberries. Most of us won't be obviously eating these, so it shouldn't be a problem, but I did have to mention it. And another thing to mention is with this, if I shake it, well, it's probably proving me wrong, but quite often the berries can pop out. So just once it's made, I wouldn't play with it. But super simple, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the inside of this wreath by, again, just opening up and plonking that stem in quite deep, so they're going to sit in very nicely. And look at how vibrant they are. I mean, a little goes a long way. And I cut these maybe a week or 2 ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and the berries just haven't stopped to fade or go dark. I mean, it's a real great late autumn, early winter plant, the stinking iris. I can't pronounce its Latin name, that's why I'm not saying it. It's like iris something. And I don't know if you saw them, but quite a few berries just popped off, so that was what I was talking about earlier on. But I've got about 9 of these stems, and again, it's super, super simple. If you're following along, just plonk, place, press in. I think you can see and hear them popping off now. But I wanted to do this real time with you. I might have to face it towards me to do it, but just to show you how quick it can be. And if you're wanting to impress your guests with a super simple floral creation, they don't need to know it was super simple. You and I can know it's super simple. But this is definitely something you can do. And it's almost, I love it because it's great for not only the Christmas period, but that kind of late autumn period as well, when everything's just starting to fade. I really do love the colour of copper beech. I'm just going to fill in that gap with one last one there. Can you see how there's just a gap there that just wants filling in? And just press that in. And it is worth saying that if you haven't already got something to hang up your wreath base on, here I'm going to just pull out the wire to hang up, but do attach a ribbon first if you want a ribbon on there. So I'm just going to shake it off so all the berries that are going to fall have fallen. There we go. And that's it. Look at that. I mean, it's super simple, but super effective. And now I've finished shaking it. I'm not playing with it. You can see it's not losing its berries now once it's in place, but it did just need to have a little moment to lose any. And like I say, I've got a little hook on the back that I will use to hang this up on my wall. Obviously, it's a little bit smaller than my giant clock, but I hope you like it. That's floral creation number 2. Again, super simple. And we're moving on. Again, I'm going to have some water. You enjoy your wine or tea or whatever you're drinking. And I'm going to move on to floral creation number 3. Again, we're flying through this. I mean, I've been doing this for less than 10 minutes and we've already got 2 floral creations down and we're on to our 3rd. So I've got this wonderful glass vase. You can use, again, whatever you have that you enjoy at home. And this is celebrating the bright colours that are available at this time of year, particularly yellow. Now I'm starting off with what's going to be the star of the show, Mahonia. Now everyone says that they love the scent of this, and I'm going to be really honest, it smells all right. Sorry about that, my phone just went off. I was saying I'm using wonderful Mahonia. Now everyone says this has a wonderful smell, but when I smell it, it's nice, but it's very subtle to me. Now, if you haven't grown Mahonia or haven't come across Mahonia before, it's very, very spiky. So once arranged, this is a look but don't touch arrangement because it is very spiky. Like most of the things we use at December, we use holly, we use lovely sprigs of teasels and lots of spiky, lovely ingredients, but of course, don't want any little kids getting near those sharp thorns. So just have it on display in your window or wherever you want, but don't touch it once it's arranged. So we're going to start off with 3 sprigs of Mahonia. This is super, super quick. 1 sprig there, and that's my best one, so I'm going to put it right at the front proudly. Another one just slightly behind. I might have to get a stepping stool, hang fire. You won't be able to see me, will you? 3 sprigs of Mahonia. Actually, if I come on this side, you can see me. Then we've got some wonderful conifer, very, very zingy yellow green. I've got 5 sprigs of this. Now, the only problem with this creation is as you are creating it, you are likely to get stabbed by the thorns on the Mahonia stem. So just take your time. For the sake of proving that it's wonderfully simple to have lovely floral creations at any time of the year, including December, I'm going to go a little fast with this. So I'll probably get stabbed, but you do not have to. And I'm just simply going around the edge, along the perimeter, with this wonderful, wonderful, frondy, greeny, yellow acidic gloriousness. And that's just 2 ingredients. You could practically leave it there and it would be fine. But I'm going in with another ingredient now, and this is wonderful Eleagnus. Now, I've honestly had this out of water for a week, and look at how well it's kept those leaves. So if you're wanting to use a foliage for wreath making, this is a great one. Euonymus and Eleagnus are fantastic. And I've got 1 big tall sprig right here for the back to just kind of arch upwards and outwards. Might have to pull it back for you to see a bit better. Another one, again, I'm going to put at the back on the other side, just arching the other way. And then 1 more, and I'm going to have this one slightly leaning forward. And it's a real celebration of yellow, this creation. And last but not least, some lovely branches. I've got some lovely hazel catkins here, and just 3 stems. So this has just been 4 ingredients. So the first creation, we used 6 ingredients for our lovely winter Christmas posy. The second creation, we used 2 ingredients for our wonderful holly berry, well, it was stinking iris in that case, but it doesn't smell, I assure you, wreath. And for our celebration of yellow, we've used 4 ingredients, and I'm just finishing off, trying not to spike myself too much, with some wonderful branches which have those lovely yellow catkins. And that is it. Floral creation number 3. In fact, if I hold that and then if I place, this is a good balancing act, isn't it? Our winter posy there. And I hold on to our wreath there. You can see in very little time, using all seasonal homegrown ingredients, that you can make some fantastic, easy but effective floral creations. And I really hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you give it a go. Do let me know. Tag me if you're on Instagram to let me see, or TikTok, or wherever you are, to see what you create. And I really hope this has brought you joy and some inspiration to prove that there's wonderful colour, even in December, that's seasonal, that we can all celebrate and enjoy. TTFN, ta-ta for now.